And then the progression of this, Superman 2, he falls from his state and becomes immortal and mates with Lois Lane. And then in the Superman Returns movie, you find out he's been gone for 5 years, comes back, he's got a kid. And who is he? A hybrid. So this is just a perpetual idea. It's a perpetual thing of the idea. In fact, there was a guy sent me a book several years ago, well, a couple years ago, called Our Gods Wear Spandex. And it's an interesting book because this guy, and he's not a Christian. So this is not an expose of the comic book thing that it's against God. This guy is writing, this is where we get to stuff. This is where we get it. And it's illustrated. It's the book itself is sort of illustrated like a comic. There's an interesting picture there for you. Captain Marvel with a square and compass. And this is the spin that he takes in this, and he's dead on. I'm trying to see how much time I have here. Let me get to this part. He does a great job in this book detailing the underlying core of what happened in the 20th century with all the comic books taken over. And now we have all these movies where, these people are gods. They have superpowers, and everybody's going, oh, I'd love to have that, man. Man, that would be cool. You know what? It's covetousness. Because I wanted to be Superman. I wanted to be Superman. He even talks about Blavatsky. And he said Blavatsky posited a 7-step progression of human evolution that led to apotheosis, humans becoming a god. What happened to Peter Parker? His DNA got changed. He got bit by a radioactive spider, and he became a god. What happened to Bruce Banner? He got his DNA altered. Now he's the Hulk. And it's all about these people. And all of these superheroes have an origin. They got to tell you their origin. Captain Marvel. He gets with a wizard called Shazam. And in the TV show on the set, I used to love this show in the 70s, man. I used to get up Saturday morning, watch Shazam, Captain Marvel, every Saturday, Billy Batson. And he gets with the mentors, all these gods of ancient Greece, and they're giving him powers. This is a reality of where we're headed. He talks about Blavatsky, mankind turning into gods. He mentions here Friedrich Nietzsche. Pardon my German. In his legendary work, Thus Spake Zarathustra, Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of the Übermensch. You know what that is? The new post-Christian overman who would restore the old values of the classical world. Übermensch translates into English as Superman. It is here that Jerry Siegel most probably encountered the term. And then he talks about the creation of Superman. Let's see here. He even mentions Crowley. Let's see here. Crowley claimed to have contact with the original superhero Horus. And what I'm trying to get across to you is that these gods, like Superman, Batman had a transformation. He had this psychological transformation. They all have this transformation. All of these Avengers, all the X-Men. Why are they the X-Men? Because they had their DNA is different. Who is it? Wolverine. Wolverine can't die. Think about Genesis 3:15. Genesis 3. Thou shalt not surely die. That was the promise. If you'll just eat this and take this, thou shalt not surely die. And that's who Wolverine is. He is a god, mortal, that cannot die. You can't kill him. In the Avengers movie, Hulk, the guy Bruce Banner says, I even put a bullet in my head to try to kill myself. The other guy spit it out. Crowley talked about Horus. He said while he and his wife Rose were living in Cairo, reportedly Rose suddenly went into a trance and began uttering cryptic things like, it's about the child and they're waiting for you. Crowley questioned her about this child and concluded she spoke of Horus. Claiming possession by a spirit named Iowas, Crowley wrote the book Liber Al, or the Book of the Law, in which he prophesies that the age of Osiris, the age of kings and churches, is passing, and that the age of Horus will be born in fire and blood. In it, a new race of self-willed supermen will emerge to purge the world of the weak and weak-minded. Compassion is the vice of kings. This is Crowley. Compassion is the vice of kings. Stamp down the wretched and the weak, Crowley wrote. This is the law of the strong. This is our law and the joy of the world. And then, I mean, he actually goes into detail about Jerry Siegel and Joel Shuster, two Jewish guys. I'm not against Jews, but these Jews primarily are trained not so much in the Old Testament as they are the Kabbalah. And the Kabbalah is all about transformation. And this is the interesting part. Do you know where Superman came from? DC Comics. No. Where does Superman come from? The planet, here we go, Krypton. You know what that word means? Secret. Secret. I mean, that's where they got it. The planet Krypton. Krypton means, see, when you have cryptographers or something is cryptic, or you encrypt your folder or whatever on your device, that means you secret it out. No one except someone who has the right key can open it. And so we have this God mentality being fed to these people. And I'm just honest with you. I mean, I grew up just a normal church-going kid, trying to be taught out of the Bible as a child. But here I am. I'm reading all these comic books, and man, I want to be Superman. I want to fly. I want to burn stuff with my eyes. X-ray vision thing. I wanted all that. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Now we're feeding people with this new mythology, and they're coveting the superpowers. Oh, I wish I could do that. Or I've even seen church small study groups who ask people in their Bible studies, if you could be a superhero, who would you be like? Come on. If I don't make it to see it and you do, take notes. Okay, take notes and send them to me, of course. Have you been writing any emails? Oh my goodness! I was going to say, have you been writing any emails? Oops. Well, let's see here. Let's see. You know, I'm going to start on the bottom. There is no way, guys. What? Oh, come on. Really? Somebody wrote in and said, glasses are a good look for you. Maybe invest in a pair with just glass. Let me see. They added a little, I think it's a smiley. Glasses are a good look for you. Yeah. Eric writes in. He said, I don't know where I've been. I'm just now coming around to listen to your Pastor Mike online. On 6/11/13, you expressed concern that if the U.S. was invaded, the general population see it as a good thing and go along with it. I'm still there. Below is a quote from a regular Bilderberg attendee, from Henry Kissinger's. Now, I'm going to read the quote. I can't verify that Kissinger actually said this, because I haven't looked at it. So, Eric, if you're dead on, hey, here's what supposedly Kissinger said. Today, Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all peoples of the world will plead with world leaders to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by the world government. How was that? That's my best Kissinger. Okay, that's the best one I've got. Let's see here. Who else got something here? That's a link. Glenn Beck's supposed to release something today. Who knows what that's about? I think the guy just likes to get attention. Oh, let's see here. Everybody's sending me articles You know, I'm going to read this one, and I know you're listening, but I'm not going to read your name because, anyway. Pastor, could you help us with some scripture? My granddaughter-in-law, 15, is cutting herself really bad. She was told by her mom to pray, but it has been getting worse. She has given her heart to the Lord, so I remembered you talking about Christians not being able to be possessed, but I feel this is a demonic attack. It's getting worse because she's getting angry. The anger comes with it. Can you help us help us in what to do and how to pray for her? Thank you, Pastor. God bless you and love from all our family. And okay, Pastor, you can read this on PMO. My daughter-in-law is listening. Her and my son need lots of prayer for their relationship too. All right, here's what I'm going to say. Number one. Cutting yourself is a demonic, it is a devilish activity. All you have to do is go look at the story of the prophets of Baal and Elijah in the big showdown there over the altar, and in adoration to their god, to Baal, trying to get Baal's attention, they began to cut themselves, is what they did. Some would say, well, it's psychological. Well, I'm sure there's a psychological aspect to this. But you're seeing the anger, you're seeing the cutting, you're seeing everything else. Now, I'm not anybody's judge. I am not anybody's judge, okay? I cannot tell you that she is possessed with the devil. I cannot tell you that she's not. I'm not there. I don't know. I'm just here's what I'm going to say. Here's questions in my mind about whether or not she truly is born again. If you'll read the book of Acts, you'll see two people in the book of Acts, Simon, and then there was a young lady who was a sorceress who was going around talking about the apostles. These men show us the way to God. Oh, yeah. And then Simon Magus, who made this conversion thing and then wanted to know how to buy the Holy Spirit so he can sell it to other people. And what I'm saying is that there are people who fake it. And I'm not saying this about her. I don't know. But that is one of the possibilities. And I would seriously do this. Now, I'm going to suggest this to the family. This kind goeth not out but by, well, let's see. I was reading the NIV, and I didn't see anything there. The King James. This kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. And I'm going to suggest this to the family. Do you love her enough? I'm sure you do. Okay? My grandkids, I'd give over both lungs for them. I would pray and fast until God drove this thing out. That's what I would do. And I'm dead serious about it. I would, you can do it by yourself. I don't think you need 20, 30 people or everybody in a group to do it with you in order to really get God's attention. There's one person can do it. But if it was my granddaughter, if it was somebody that I loved and cared about, I wouldn't eat until that thing left. God will drive it out. I'm absolutely convinced. God, whether she is possessed or just simply oppressed, that is a possibility. But I would not eat a thing until that thing left.